Hello, everyone. Welcome to Techeries. Hello to people on YouTube and on Twitch. We have another fun show lined up for you. We will discuss a couple of games that have caught our eye. KP has, some fun stuff to talk about later on with me with some new stuff. And yeah, guys, I'm Morgan and that's KP.
Yeah, hi guys. Yeah, so we're gonna air something that we're not going to air. That's what Morgan was trying to read. You know,
You're
just
gonna see that probably next
yeah,
week.
yes.
You didn't have to bring it
Uh,
up. I thought I skirted around almost messing up
Not
pretty
really. You
good.
didn't do that great of it.
Uh,
No,
it could have
no.
been worse. I could have
You
just
were
read
like,
it.
and KP has some things.
Some things to chat about later with me. It's fine. It's great. Anyway, continue. It's your turn to talk.
But we also have another long list of games that are releasing this week coming up. So you'll want to make sure you mark anything that are interesting you. Because there are a couple that I was like, this isn't a terrible game.
Yeah.
But we'll say happy Easter
Yeah.
to
Happy
everybody.
Easter to those who celebrate.
Yes. And let's dive into your tech pulse so we don't hold you guys too much from your Easter food if you are celebrating.
Alrighty. Let's go ahead and kick things off. Last week on the show, we discussed how the United States tariffs were affecting an overseas miniature 3D printing company, Hero Forge. Well, today we have more important tariff news. So, according to a new bulletin released by U.S. Customs and Border Protect, smartphones, computers, chips, and other electronic devices in the wave of reciprocal tariffs are no longer being included in the Trump administration tariff just whole setup. So it seems that this new order will apply to goods coming from China, which is hit by a 145% levy and produces many of the world's smartphones. So the tariff exclusions will apply retroactively from 12:01 a.m. back on April 5th. So they're already starting like the anything that's gotten the tariff starting on April 5th is going to retroactively be fixed. So it's very exciting to see this. Hopefully, as time continues, we can see other important items become exempt from these tariffs. We're going to see how this will later on affect things with even Nintendo. I believe you're talking on that later in the show, KP. So yeah, it's a big deal. A lot of our tech, surprisingly, comes from overseas because there's a lot of big tech companies across the world. So,
Yes, because
yeah,
if we make them here,
it costs
we
too
will be
much.
spending way too much. Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
it's more money to make it
Yeah.
here. Sometimes the US doesn't actually have every supply, you know? Like
Right,
sometimes
right.
other
Or we don't
countries actually naturally have the supplies they need to make it where the US doesn't. So it makes it cheaper.
yeah. Yeah, I mean like there's a whole bunch of things. Like there are factories that we have that they don't that other countries don't have and vice
Yep.
versa. Like there's all kinds of things. So it just doesn't make any sense why we need to be making everything. We should make a good portion of our products. I totally agree with that part of it, but as far as everything, that's just not plausible. That's
Sure.
why we have trade routes. That's why we have trade agreements. That's why we have all this stuff. That's why as a countries, we have gone through history of making these back and forth trade decisions to make sure that we actually have product lines that, we're making money off of and then other countries are making money off of. It's all part of, economy and how it works. And yeah, go us for not wanting to
Woo!
do that.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye. Obviously, as we said last week, we're gonna keep an eye on the tariffs. That way, if anything big and important comes up, that will be very impactful to us, whether in a good or a bad way. We'll let you guys know. That's obviously a very hot topic in the world right now. Is these tariffs and what is going to be affected by them? So, if anything major happens, or any major news comes up that is regard to anything like really important in the tech or game industry, you're gonna hear it here on the show because, well, we all got to stay in the know.
That's right. And now you have a new water cooler story to talk about. So yay.
Woo!
Woohoo. But speaking of a water cooler story,
Oh no.
not everything out there is at face value. Think about that. We should not take everything at face value. All right. One
Got
CO
it.
is facing charges for security. Thanks, Morgan. One CEO is facing charges for securities fraud for allegedly lying to investigators about his AI company, what his AI company could do. The company, known as Nate, is an e commerce company that claimed it was developing an AI program that could complete online purchases for the users with a single tap. But little did people know that that little single tap was really hundreds of hired people working remotely based in the Philippines. So these people manually process
Wow.
transactions for his company's AI program. The CEO raised over $40 million from investors and even hired a team of data scientists to help him develop this quote AI system, right? And then he also concealed the truth from investors and most of his employees, telling them to keep Nate's automation rate secret. Now, just goes to show that not everything is as good as it seems on the outside. It's just boggles my mind. It really does. This is just insane. You
That's wild.
tell a whole bunch yeah, you tell a whole bunch of investors, I have this amazing product company that does AI. It'll do all of your transactions for you. All you have to do is just one single tap and it'll do it all its own. But really, it's a whole bunch of people in the Philippines that he hired to do
Well,
this for him.
but what I want to know though is like how quick are these people in the Philippines? Like AI is pretty instantaneous. Like I'm very like obviously, bro, you shouldn't lie. Bad on you. But like in a weird way, I want to know how this whole process was set up and how it works to make
Yeah,
sense. I guess I don't know. Like that's weird. Yeah,
yeah, I
Ramp.
don't.
I agree with you. That is nuts. And kind of what is the point? Why not just be like, hello, we have these amazing people that can help you. Like
I think because
what?
I think his whole mindset was everybody's going to this AI thing, and so
Sure.
he knew that he could get investors if it came out to say, "I have an AI company." That's how he made the money. That's $40 million he was able to get
He
invested from
scammed
people
out of
putting in.
people.
He scammed everybody. Like this is ridiculous. I
My
mean, don't get me
goodness.
wrong. I love good scam stories, but this one really like is just the icing on the cake that he was able to do this. And it's just like really? And to answer Ramp just why, there
Money.
really is no reason why these people do this, okay? There's no like set, I'm doing this because it seems like it's a great idea or it's fun. It's really just about how can they get away with something. That's really all it is ever about with
Yeah, usually
scams.
how can they get away with it and how can they make money from it is the typical
Yeah.
reason why scams happen.
But there's no other realm or reason behind it. And we don't even know if the people in the Philippines were being paid. We don't know what they were being paid. We don't know anything. We don't know how many people he hired. We don't know. Like we just know he hired people in the Philippines. I when I saw this story, I sent it to you and I was like, this has to go in the show because it's so just out there.
Yeah, that's fucking wild. Bro, like
It's wild.
also if you don't want to get caught, you got to scam better, my man. Not that I'm like saying, "Hey, go scam people," but like at least be better at it if you decide that's an avenue you're going to take.
Like Bernie Madoff was able to scam people for a long time. I had to really say the last name. He was able to scam people for a long time, and the only reason that we knew about it was because all of a sudden the guilt trip caught up with him, and that's what
Sure.
happened.
Sure.
But if
I
he
mean,
that
hey,
guilt trip was never there, we would have never known.
the
So,
the CEO
those are the types of things that you have to think about.
the
But
this
don't
the
scam people.
CEO the
Moral of the story,
CEO
don't do it.
so this CEO and this company, Nate, rolled just a nat one on their deception checks. It's fine.
Right, I was like, what does Nate even stand for?
Probably him.
There was nothing.
Hey, we are naming our AI Nate. Come use Nate.
That's just the name of the Philippines. It's fine.
Well, talking about companies and, decisions that have been made and like needing investors, right? I actually have one about a video game studio. So, we officially have another story with sad news for another video game and studio. The MOBA style game Veliv or Valve, maybe I think it's probably said, is officially shutting down only days after it launched into Steam Early Access on April 9th, according to the studio Chaff. I think that's how we say it. But yeah, yeah, really, it's crazy. Just days after. So the Steam page is currently up still. So I'm gonna go ahead and let you guys kind of check that out while I give you the rest of the story. So, oh, hello. Did you not want to capture properly, even though you were earlier today? How dare you? Sorry,
Damn
guys.
you,
There it is.
Streamlabs.
Streamlabs, why are you giving me every day? Every time we go live, it's something different. But yeah, so here's the Steam page for y'all to look at. That is, what the heck is going
It
on?
doesn't even look that bad of a game. Like that's the thing that's confusing to me. I'm like, it looks like a game I would even think about playing.
Yeah, like this is all screwed up. Hold on, I'm fixing it. Sorry, guys. Oh, there we go. Okay, so why, right? Well, like, firstly, what is Valve? It was a hidden world where technology and nature merge. You would embark on quests, battle monsters, and unveil mysteries with enhanced gear. You could experience intense PvPvE combat, strategic team play across diverse classes, and continuous character growth through exploration and extraction. So here's a quote from the development team. As some of you may have already noticed, we weren't able to reach a point we weren't able to reach the point we needed to continue supporting and servicing Valve. Despite our efforts, we couldn't secure the investment we needed from VCs or large partners. With limited options, we made the decision to launch an early access, hoping for the best. Now, the studio understood that Valve wasn't in the necessarily the best of shape when it launched as a paid early access title on Steam. However, this was actually the only viable path forward for the studio in order to hopefully continue development. Now, sadly, Studio Chaff is stepping away from the development and bringing Valve to a close. With that said, this isn't the end for Valve yet. So the game is transitioning to a free to play model with all purchases of the early access game being fully refunded. While the game servers will shut down eventually, a specific date has not been determined just yet. So, did you play Valve? If so, what did you think of it? Um I looking at it, I actually kind of dug it and I'm really sad to hear the story. Though it is a the Steam page is still up, there is a notice that says Valve is no longer available on the Steam store, but you are able to go check out the Steam page that it did have. So yeah, this is pretty
Yeah.
sad news. This isn't necessarily, oh, we failed. We didn't get a lot of money, this and that. I mean, in a way it is they didn't get a lot of money. They didn't get any investors to be able to back them to help afford the support they needed to give this game. So they launched early access with the hopes of maybe making the money that could support it. And sadly, they at the moment did not make enough and had to make the decision to just close the game.
Interesting. I tried to search for it just alone because I'm looking at the I'm on
Yeah,
my
if you
launcher.
search for it, I don't think you can
It
find
won't show
it.
up.
But if you search
It
for
won't
it
show
in
up.
Google, you can get to the Steam page through Google. That's how
Yeah.
I was able to find the Steam page.
It's just so sad. I mean,
Yeah,
it like I said, it does look like a game that you and I would definitely dig and try to like play and stuff,
absolutely.
but it is
Absolutely.
sad that it's just gone. And even like Ramp said, it looks like it's got a little bit of a like League of Legends type play. And then I think, yeah, you also mentioned that it was giving you a little Sea of Thieves vibe, which I
Yep,
can get that. That looked, yeah,
I
that
could
was
see that.
kind of fascinating about it, but it also looked like it was very like 3D, like third person kind of thing, which was really cool. And I just hate to see it. Like this is the type of stories we don't want to talk about, unfortunately, but we have to. And, it is what it is. And hopefully the company can kind of get whatever back together and maybe they'll bring it back or maybe they'll have somebody maybe this news of them shutting it down will push somebody to be like, "Hey, I want to invest in it." You never know.
That and that
Like,
very well could be. And I think that's why they're not necessarily like though like they're stepping away from the game, they are bringing it free to play for those who had previously purchased it until the server shut down. And we don't have a shutdown date yet because maybe they're like, let's leave it up a little while, see if anybody's like, hey, will want to come in and be our saving grace. That may not be their thought point either, but that's kind of a vibe I'm getting from this kind
Yeah.
of wrap up of the story. So hopefully, I mean, it looks really interesting. It's just crazy to think, man. It went live on what was the release date? April 9th was the release date.
Yeah.
And so, man, what, 11 days later? That's crazy.
Well, here's fingers
Hmm.
crossed that they maybe have somebody reach out and be like, "Hey,
Yeah.
I want to support you guys," so
Yeah,
that they
we'll see what
can
happens.
make it go. Because, I mean, green light that game. Green light the game, guys. Green light the game. Green light it.
I
Maybe
agree.
we'll get this story flipped out, and then we can hopefully get some people to say green light the game. All right. Well, I guess we'll go to some exciting news then.
Woo!
I know we just came off of a downer, but exciting news is good, right?
To go with the
So,
holiday that today is for most people.
yeah, yeah. So all you ghost hunters out there that love Phasmophobia, the new event Cursed Hollow is well underway. So let's talk about what it will entail if you haven't jumped into the action just yet. But I should say, I actually did. I jumped into it on Friday. I
I
was going to say
haven't.
I haven't, but I have on or yesterday. I did on Friday yesterday, sorry. With Shirtless Dan. So let's talk about a little bit of the event and what it is. So this event will have you uncover secrets by identifying ghosts, completing objectives, and discovering the totems scattered across the maps. The maps used in the event will be decorated with all manner of event theming for this forest spirit. And there are actually going to be two rewards. So you'll have a community and a personal one. The community goals will be familiar to anyone who has taken part in these past events, whereas the personal goals will progress alongside the community goals, and you'll unlock an ID upgrade and for your personal goal, and the event trophy will be available after the completion of the community event, which,
Very nice.
just so everybody knows, the community event part is completed. So as soon as you log in, you'll have your lovely community event rewards.
Very nice. Very
All
nice.
reward yes. All rewards will be auto-claimed. So all you have to do is just log in at any point of the goal after the goal has been reached and receive your reward. And the devs have also listened to feedback from the last event and made some changes. These are what I like to hear.
Heck
I like
yeah.
hearing when the devs listen. So there will be a map rotation. Shirtless Dan actually got to see, and I got to see this in action. It was phenomenal. So between the following maps, we have Willow Street, Camp Woodwind, Tanglewood, Grafton Farmhouse, Ridgeview Court, Edgefield Road, Point Hope, Bleasdale Farmhouse, and Maple Lodge Campsite. As we were playing, it was really great. We had at the beginning when we were playing, we had Willow Street, we had the Grafton Farmhouse, we had I think we had Maple Lodge campsite and we had one more. And so we started in Grafton and that which was the newly redone one.
Sure.
And then we were like, okay, let's go to Willow because we at least know Willow and we felt a little bit more comfortable. And then partway through, I think we were like 4 hours in and they switched all of them again on us. And we are like, this is great. Like it kind of brought like a brand new, like revived, like, oh, I could play
Sure.
some more now. Because now I
Instead
have
of
a new
like,
place to
okay,
go.
we've been doing this for 4 hours. It's same place, a little monotonous,
Yeah.
Nice. Very nice.
Yeah, so when it refreshed itself, we had Tanglewood, we had Edgefield, and then I think we had Point Hope, and then I think we also had Camp Woodwind. So we
Okay.
had those ones in there. So it was a nice little like, all right, here's four more different ones. The event will run roughly 3 weeks instead of the full month. So we calculated out that should be ending roughly about May 7th or about midway May 7th, we're thinking. Or if it's a little bit later, maybe May 8th, because we had 17 days when we logged in yesterday. And then there are gameplay modifiers. So the Cursed Hollow brings various gameplay modifiers that can occur during investigations, and these can be triggered by interacting with the forest spirit minion totems found throughout the maps. So happy hunting, fellow ghost hunters. I hope you enjoy it.
Very nice. Hopefully, I have a chance to dive in before it's over.
Well, we were planning on hitting it up again. So
Very nice.
um it honestly I felt like I think they're gonna this is what I think. I think they're gonna have to reevaluate community events again because the algorithm felt very fast this time compared to
Okay.
last time. So there might need to be some more tweaks in the algorithm on how quickly we get things done because we logged in. The game release was on Thursday
Sure.
and all of the community stuff was done. And we were like, cool, we did
I wonder
nothing.
if that's partially because now we have like PlayStation and Xbox, like the console users is like kind of like, well, now that we don't have just PC people, it's stuff getting done quicker. Let's maybe
Yeah.
go and adjust that. That could be potentially why.
Oh, yeah, yeah. But it didn't feel like, from a personal standpoint, that these goals were not reachable.
Sure.
So we played 4 hours. We were able to get the first one done, and then we were working on the next one. So it at least was like attainable. They were attainable goals. It didn't feel like if I wasn't playing for 4 hours, like, or if I did play for 4 hours and only got maybe a quarter of a way, we were at least able to finish the first one and walk away going, cool, we completed something. So that was
Nice.
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 Yeah, it was a good feeling.
All right. Well, real quick, before we go into our next story, Ramp actually
And the
redeemed
next
a
story's so cool.
hydrate in our Twitch chat. So we got to hydrate
Darn
ourselves.
you,
I have
Ram.
orange juice right now. Thank you. Thank you for the hydrate.
Trying to wake me up over here? Is that what you're trying to do? I see how it is.
I'm so excited for this next story because it's really cool.
This one's really cool. This next story I think you guys will greatly enjoy.
This one's really
I
cool.
found this and I sent it to Morgan and I'm like, this is a very cool story. Please do this one.
I also like you should have seen me when I was like Dan watched it with me, my husband, and I was like nerding. I was like this and like I went all nerd mode. So yeah, it's fine.
Well, guess what? You get to be all nerd mode now.
Woo! All right, everybody.
Cue nerd. Wait, here, hold on. Wait, Morgan, I'm push the button. And nerd mode, go.
Okay, everybody. Y'all no. Oh man, y'all. You already know, as we are kind of like hinting it to it there. I am super hyped for The Witcher 4, but now I'm even more so. So we just got on April 15th a video from I don't know how to say this name. I'm gonna be honest with you, but I'm gonna give it my best shot. Platage Image is maybe how we say it. They gave us a motion capture breakdown for the cinematic reveal trailer featuring the duel from The Witcher 4. So now I'm about to show you the video, but let me tell you, this has the motion capture nerd in me very giddy. If you couldn't already tell, so let me go ahead, switch over, and show you this while I just talk about it. So here are the behind the scenes of the fight choreography of the duel between Siri and Bach for the game's motion capture from the game's motion capture stage. So here is how they actually brought the scene to life. They built a 7 meter or 23 foot, if you're in the US, rig suspended from the ceiling with three operators for the attacking arms, and this is the really hard name. Masij Kwiatkowski performing Box Body. If I butchered your name, I'm so sorry, my man. But anyway, they shot the choreography just in one take, which is mind blowing. It's awesome, which allowed them to actually preview the fight sequence live on set with no tricks and just raw movement. So the team shot this combat across 5 to 6 takes, and the iconic move with the chain jump, was actually invented 10 minutes before the take and was nearly sorry was invented 10 minutes before the take and was actually nailed absolutely perfectly. So this is how the monster of the duel was actually turned into motion. So with that being said, the Academy, this is a little sidestep. The Academy for the Oscars are actually officially bringing the long-awaited recognition to stunt teams at the 2028 Oscars. And seeing this, we all know we need a motion capture award for the Game Awards because just like stunt work, this is an absolute work of art. This is an art form, and it deserves all the appreciation and recognition that it deserves. And this is an area of both filmmaking and as well as game making that you don't get to see a lot of. You don't get to see a lot of the behind the scenes, and if you do, it's usually not to this caliber. This sure was only a minute and 14 seconds, but this is actually for, those out there aspiring to be this like really big and really awesome to look at.
I like it. I think it's so incredible the fact that it's not just they took a whole bunch of people, and just like go in an animated studio, figure it out, get back to me. But we are seeing more of this, in this sense. So
Mhm.
they're not the only ones to do this. I know this one was more like we finally got the behind the scenes kind of stuff and everything,
They just are the people
which
who
was really
put
cool.
the look of it in our face. We got to really see it. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But Diablo has also done this. So they
Yes.
actually hired for when they did Spiritborn to figure out how Spiritborn was going to move and everything. They actually hired people in different martial arts and took pictures and video motion graphics and all this. Like they did it all. So it's nice to see that it's not just, it's becoming more of a thing like down the
Mhm.
road, which is really
Absolutely.
great because these animated cinematic scenes that we see in these games are a work of art. They are so intense anymore that they're supposed to be like movie quality, right? They're supposed to bring your emotions out. You're supposed to feel what they feel. And even watching him when the one character, I don't know who he is yet because we just know him as a character right now. And he's holding the other girl and he's crying, like he's
Oh,
just
yeah, the man
upset
who's
because
sobbing.
yeah, and
Yeah.
I'm just like, it's just so great to see this. And I know, Avatar was the first, like one of the more first people to do all the stuff with the face cameras and the
Yeah,
dots
so,
and all that
like,
stuff. And
Avatar, back when the first Avatar film came out, it was the biggest thing about I'm a huge Avatar fan. People can hate on it all they want. I don't care. I love it. So I have a lot of info about Avatar actually, but just the simple version is what they did was groundbreaking for
Mhm.
motion capture and to really evolve. Like Avatar was one of the biggest films to evolve the CG work in the motion capture that we have now today, not only in cinema but now especially in video games as well.
Yeah, and so knowing that background, like and seeing them using this pieces, and we know that there's other games out there that do this too. Like it's not just them. Like we said, this is the first time we're getting that good sneak peek of like, hey,
Yeah,
let
we're
us
getting
show
a
you what
really
we're
nice
doing.
behind the scenes look at it for sure.
Yeah, because we don't
Um,
get that often. Normally,
no,
it's
we
like,
don't.
"Hey, yeah, we do this, and we just kinda wanna just, keep it to ourselves, and you guys enjoy it, but we know what we did." And you're like, okay, but if you let us in, like, we're gonna appreciate it more, like,
Yeah,
as a gamer or even as a film lover, or even just in general
like
as a person."
to look at this too, just to know that like though they got all of this done in 5 to 6 takes, they did each single 5 to 6 takes in one whole take. There was no break. There was no stop. Like having that fluidity, that choreography so well in sync with one another is a big deal. Like that is a feat in itself because it helps make we don't take if you're in a fight, like if you got physically into a fight, there's not going to be a quick break. Oh, hold on, man, I need a drink of water. The Yeah.
Wait a second.
Exactly. Like so like it helps just take that fight scene and make it even feel more real than what it could be because it is all
Yeah.
done in one take. It makes it feel more natural. So it's
Mhm.
it's really sick to see to nerd out a little bit more. I can't remember the name of it, but we're seeing a lot more stuff like this also, like where you can see how it's going to look in real time on the set. House of Dragon, which is the HBO
Oh, yeah.
show, the prequel in a way to all of the Game of Thrones stuff. They have
Mhm.
their sets are amazing. When you have like the dragon riders, the people riding their dragons, they get basically on a bucking bull, if you will, but they actually have when the actors go in, they go into a dome in an area that's completely covered in LCD screens, and they actually have renders of the dragons so they can actually more properly react and act to the creatures that aren't actually there. So like
Yeah.
it's really cool to just see this constant evolution for motion capture and CG and acting alone. Because the more that they
Mhm.
have to play with as actors, the more that we're going to feel the realism behind it. And then that alone is it lets them craft them better right on set rather than have to worry about getting to post and be like, all right, how can we work around this mess up? Or do we have to spend more money and do reshoots? So
Right.
it's
Right.
really cool to see how this technology is evolving. I will if you guys have HBO, there is a amazing. They have a season. So there's 2 seasons out right now of the House of Dragon. They have 2 seasons of like just behind the scenes interviews with people who are doing stuff on the set. with the actors, like, and it gives you another really cool in-depth look behind how they're doing all of this stuff. So if you like what you saw here about The Witcher 4 and their mocap stuff, I really suggest going and watching that. Even if you don't want to watch The House of Dragon, you could still watch that and like learn a bunch of really cool stuff about just filmmaking and the new stuff for CG and motion capture alone. Okay, that's my
Yeah.
nerdy tangent. I'll stop.
No, you're good. I'm just so happy that we're seeing that evolution, that
Absolutely.
evolution of
100%.
things and how just it's not just take a whole bunch of people, like I said, and put them in a room and say, figure it out, make the graphic move, like make the person move. Just do it, you
Yeah.
know?
And like
So
as
it's nice.
somebody who's been on film sets, though sure indie ones, smaller ones, there's something to talk about when like you figure it out in real time and you're like, man, that just fucking works. Like there is something to
Mhm.
say about that. And there's just as a creator a feeling that is so inexplainable unless you witness it. And I'm sure everybody in that room while doing those scenes felt that.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And I'm sure afterwards they were like, "Oh my god, that was just incredible."
That was incredible. We fucking
And
killed
then
it.
get to see
Let's
it playback.
go. Yeah.
And I'm sure, like, the playback and then watching it and all the other stuff, like, all the like, the finished product part of
Mhm.
it, because 'cause I'm sure they got to see all that, they were probably
Yeah.
like, "That's fucking cool."
And
Like, I
also
would be.
being able to see it in real time means you're able to replay it in real time as well, which lets basically the people acting are gonna huddle around. Let's watch it. All right, I see that's where I need to adjust. I need to pivot here, and allows it in there. It makes honestly your film day shorter. It makes your
Yeah.
stuff shorter. It makes you get more detail oriented. And it helps you really perfect your craft without having to feel while feeling like you're in control of it.
Yeah, yeah, and even to the point of, like, to somebody that's doing it, right? Somebody that's in the stunt area, like,
Mhm.
they could be sitting there and saying, "Oh, that felt good, but you know what? I can do that better."
Sure.
You know? And
You're
so
like, "It
that
felt
that's what
decent, but
also
it
kinda
didn't
helps too.
look the best. Let's adjust."
Right. Yeah, let's try it one more time. I know I can do it. I can make it look better than it is, and we'll compare. And I think that's
Absolutely.
really cool. So, yeah,
Well,
okay, we're done nerding out on that.
we're done
I'll
nerding
take that
out.
button back. Thanks.
Oh, okay. Yeah. But you actually now, just to, help give you a little toss, is everybody that story we're talking about with some news about Nintendo is what KB has for
Yes.
you right now.
Yeah, so this is the last story that we're going to share with you guys this on this Sunday. So Nintendo has released good news for those looking to get their hands on the new Nintendo Switch 2. Pre-orders will begin in the US on April 24th. The price will remain $449.99 US dollars. But Nintendo says Switch 2 accessories will experience price adjustments from those announced on April 2nd due to changes in market conditions, and there could be some price adjustments to any of the Nintendo products in the future depending on the market conditions. So, if you are thinking about getting your hands on the Mario Kart World Bundle with the Switch, it will still remain at $499.99. And if Nintendo originally planned to kick off the preseason orders on April 9th, but due to the potential impacts from the tariffs and the evolving market conditions, they removed the pre orders date and moved it back. So, with that said, the Switch will still release though on June 5th. It's just that pre-orders will start a little later. Oh boy. LOL, spend $1,000 just on a console and accessories. Yeah, pretty much.
Basically,
Yeah, it is. They're not changing. Thankfully, they're not changing the price of the Nintendo itself, like the Switch itself, but the accessories will be adjusted, unfortunately.
yeah. No. Well, we'll see what happens. I am curious to see by what margin, like how much they will go up by, which I know that once those prices are released, we will let everybody know because that's something we've been keeping track on all this stuff with the Nintendo Switch. So yeah, we're gonna wait. We sadly have to wait and see how much the the tariffs are impacting the pricing of the accessories, but I am happy to hear that the console itself is not raising from its $500 standpoint. Just because it's already expensive as is, when I still feel like the Steam Deck for $50 more is still a better option. Personally, that is my personal opinion. So, yeah. But for now, everybody, we're going to go on a short break. And when we return, you're going to get your first look at a crazy slot machine roguelike game called Clover Pit. So stay tuned. We're going to dive back into that when we get back. And then a quick little spotlight of a new game from none other than Bungie. So hang in there, grab a drink, hydrate yourself if you need to, but we'll be back momentarily.
Luck be a lady tonight. Well, this lady doesn't have any luck on her side after she fell to her doom 3 times. But she kept coming back to pull that lever on the slot machine. This is Clover Pit, a game by Panic Arcade. So, what exactly is Clover Pit? Well, it's a roguelite slot machine nightmare. You gamble for your life in a never ending debt simulator. But don't worry, you get interest and Clover tickets to buy Lucky Charms at the store to help improve your luck at the slot machine. Oh, and someone calls you, which could give you a boost to your chances or it could make you lose it all. It's all up to the choices you choose. The gameplay is really easy. The game asks you to move around using the WSAD keys and then you click on what you want to do. Whether that is pulling the lever to test your luck, buying a charm at the store, or paying off your debt by inserting coins into the ATM. While the gameplay is simple, it's very fun and adds enough perks to make you come back for more. The art design has a grunge feel to it, and I'm here for it. This gives the game a more uneasy feel because you don't know if you are going to fall to your doom or survive to pay off more debts. Taking a look at the soundtrack of the game, it has your typical casino sounds as you pull the lever and make matches on the screen. Besides that, there is no background music to distract you. There is no voice lines when you pick up the phone or when you first start. All this adds to the feel of the game and how terrifying it can be just sitting in a room with your death just a floor release underneath you. Overall, Clover Pit is a fun game that will have you manipulate the slot machine to earn a gazillion coins, trigger big combos, break the game with 150 plus unlockable items, and pull you into a sinister tale of addiction and escape. When the game announced during the Triple I showcase, more than 22,000 gamers added it to their wish list that day, and more than 11,000 tried the demo. If you want to test your luck and see how high you can go before falling to your doom, then check out the demo on Steam. Clover Pit will be heading to a full release sometime in 2025.
Well, guys, I want to be honest with you. KB told me, she's like, this game is so addicting. I don't know what it is about it, but it's so addicting. KP, do we need to talk about your gambling?
I don't have a gambling
No,
issue.
I'm teasing. I'm teasing.
I'm like, there's no way to gamble here where I live. I'd have to go to like Oklahoma or Louisiana. Like there's really no gambling here. It's interesting.
That is interesting.
Yeah, it's a state that doesn't have it compared to Michigan. No, but the game is like I wanted to say as soon as you like showed the last part, I want to be like, and splat.
Yeah, right.
Okay, so the game is interesting. The game is very fascinating, right? So the game, when you play it, you start off and you're like, oh, we just need 75 coins. And I'm like, cool, 75 is doable. I can make that happen.
Sure.
Then they go from 75 to 200. And you're like, okay, that's not too bad of a jump. Like it's at least still doable, but it's not too crazy because you're at 75.
It was
So then
deadline
you
number
just
3
add
you
on.
died at, right?
Yeah.
So
Well,
what's
yeah. After I played
jump?
it. What?
What's like? Is it another like? Is it a crazy jump between deadline 2 and deadline
Yeah.
3? Well, what is it?
Oh yeah.
Do you know? Do you remember?
So like from 2 to 3 was 666.
Oh, that's a
And then
massive
that's when they
jump.
teach. Yeah, so that's when they teach you about 666 in the game and what it means and what like happens if you pull it and you get 666. I was like,
Oh,
wow,
no.
that's kind of cool. Like it's an interesting little like tit for tat kind of thing. And then you go from that to like 2000. I was like, wait a minute, game. Wait a minute, game.
Wow.
Game. Why do you hate me? Like I had a good roll for a moment though. But I like the little added perks that you get. So like getting a Clover ticket and being able to take that ticket and buying something at the store or getting the lucky charms, putting the charms on to what you have, and then when you roll they'll like trigger randomly depending on what it is, right?
Okay.
And so therefore it's really cool how it plays because it's a game that's a simulator about a slot machine, but it's also a debt simulator. So it's trick the machine to clear your debt. but the deaths are just ridiculous. And it's spooky, but it's like a really weird grunge feel. Like you feel like somebody's watching you, but they're not watching you. And then I don't know, there's just something about the game that's very addicting. And apparently I'm not alone because like I said, 22,000 gamers added it to their wish list on day one, and 11,000 gamers played the demo when it first was, showcased in AAA. So that
Wow.
tells me that I'm not alone in this whole like this game is addicting and it has a weird like I want to play again. Like I want to do it again. Like I want to beat my score. So definitely check it out, guys. It's a fun game, but it's a simple game.
Sure.
But it's a fun game.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, chat, let us know. Type in chat right now. Do you think Clover Pit is a game you potentially want to play? Let's hear your thoughts.
Or at least try the demo. Would you wanna
Yeah,
try the demo?
try
Because
out
the
the demo.
demo's a good one.
Let
And
us
I
know
think
what
they
you
just
think.
did an update on the demo. So,
Oh, that's
I always
nice.
like when they do updates. Like they do little updates on demos and stuff, and
Yeah,
you're like, "Cool, what did you guys do? Like, did you tweak something fun that I didn't do yet?" So, not for me, just not my thing. That's fair. That's
totally
understandable.
fair. Totally fair, right? Well, maybe this next one is your thing because I know you sent me some links about it over there. Let's go ahead and dive into our spotlight of none other than Bungie's marathon. On April 12th, Bungie took to Twitch and YouTube for a massive 15-minute announcement and gameplay reveal stream of none other than their upcoming new video game, Marathon. This is the latest upcoming team-based first-person extraction shooter. You choose your runner, cybernetic mercenaries with unique abilities, and battle rival online PvP teams and security forces for weapons and upgrades, all in a crew of 3. You'll be able to customize your playstyle with the weapons, implants, and equipment you collect on your runs. Every match is a chance to experiment, build craft, and come back stronger. Fill your vault by scavenging the lost colony of Tau Ceti 4 and surviving long enough to extract with your loot to use on future runs. And if you're brave enough, you could even journey to the derelict marathon ship that looms above. Bungie stated that this game makes playing at every skill level satisfying with multiple maps to choose from, the start areas, challenging high-stake zones, and even a ranked mode in Season 1. Worried about cheaters? Well, Bungie is also continuing to invest in robust anti-cheat and dedicated server support to keep your games competitive and fair. Marathon, from the creators of Halo and Destiny, is a fast-paced, first-person, team-based extraction shooter. You can scavenge the lost colony of Tau Ceti 4 with your runner on September 23rd, 2025 on PC via Steam, PlayStation 5, and Xbox Series X and S with full cross-play and cross-save support. Alrighty, everybody. That was your look at Marathon. And so, real quick, Ramp did say in our Twitch chat that one of the characters looks like the emissary of the Nine, and I absolutely agree with you. There's actually quite a few things in here that I'm like, all right, Bungie, I see your Destiny influence in here. I can tell you're using the product that you've used to make Destiny to make this, which is understandable. It's their product and it's their stuff. Why wouldn't they? So with that said, like I know that near the end of that video we saw like these kind of more tanky builds, I think is from the security forces that you can face off against. The way they jumped and moved reminded me a lot of the Cabal. I'm very curious to see if there will ever be some sort of potential tie-in to Destiny with from Marathon because there's a lot of the writing, like the font types that I saw, like the bright green font and everything, and like the letters. I've definitely seen that exact same font on some of my guns in Destiny, and like where they have like a specific style of like it's kind of more like techno kind of looking and everything. So I'm very curious to see if there will ever be somewhere in the Destiny universe a brief mention of this derelict marathon ship. So who knows? Let's see. Ramp says
Yep.
to be on the
It does come out the same day as Borderlands 4. You are correct.
That is very true.
And Morgan has asked me, are you gonna, what's and I'm like, I am Borderlands 4 all the way.
I knew the answer, but I figured I'd check. I will be
I
diving
might do a
probably.
marathon, but I also gotta see what they're doing with this too, because we don't know anything regarding where it's gonna be released. Like, is it gonna be Game Pass? Like, we don't know that yet.
Oh no, it will
So
not be Game Pass. This
see,
is
but
so like I'm saying this right now. I don't think if it does become Game Pass, it's not in my personal opinion, I don't think this is going to become Game Pass immediately. This would not be a day one Game Passer because of the fact that Bungie is owned now by Sony. So this is strictly
Mhm.
releasing right now only on um oh what was it? I know
Like
it's
PC and PlayStation,
And
right?
PlayStation. I think it is coming to Xbox Series X and S. I have to I can't remember what I said in my own video. Sorry guys. Um but yeah, I know that with that being said, I know that a game like this it's going to be a flagship game for him for a while, so I don't see it being a day one Game Pass.
Ramp, you're a person after my own heart.
Well, everybody.
But Stallion loves you too, just so you know.
Well, who here's interested though in the marathon closed alpha playtest? Because I am. We'll see if I get into it. Probably not, but it is what it is. But for anybody who is, the marathon closed alpha playtest will take place from April 23rd through May 4th, 2025. Bungie has stated that this will be a fairly small playtest, noting that while many players will not get in to join this time around, there will be bigger playtests coming in the near future. So, according to Bungie, the specific playtest will mainly focus on testing technical capabilities and gathering important feedback. So, with this playtest, alpha playtest, being closed, entry is not guaranteed. So, this means players that wish to take part will have to meet several requirements before they are considered, and even then may not actually end up being invited to it. But do note that on Bungie.net it states that only players that are 18 plus in North America will be eligible for this time around. They're keeping this one very small, and there'll be more in the future. But the question is, how do you potentially join? So, visit the official Marathon Discord. Make sure you are signed into the account you want the invitation sent to. Visit the Alpha Access channel. Type and enter the \alpha command into the channel chat. So that's going to be \word alpha. Follow the link in the auto response that takes you to a Bungie.net sign up page. Now, you will need to pick your desired platform and sign in. Read the instruction carefully, verify your email address, and Bungie will notify you if you are selected for the Marathon Alpha playtest. I do believe, however, that there will likely be public playtests in the in the future, closer to the official release date, especially with them saying like this is it's going to be smaller this time around. Like the wording they've used in their on their pages about this closed alpha test sounds like there's going to be even more to come. So it'll hopefully be a little more lenient to get into. We saw them with Destiny, for example. They had like a closed alpha where they had a week, and then we had like a full week or two of like an open public alpha, like our beta test before the game actually officially launched. So if Bungie might end up down the road following that same model they did for Destiny back 10 years ago.
All I'm seeing is maybe we'll weed some people out that wanted to play Borderlands 4 so I can get more people to watch me.
It's true. It's true. I don't know if I'll be able to dive into this day one, but if I'm able to, I would like to. I'm definitely interested in this. It's
I'm
actually
looking for myself.
I know. Yeah,
I
I'm
do have
curious to
more
see what this is
questions
going to be
though.
like.
Yeah, I want to
I'm
know more about the actual runners. We were talking about this while your thing was going off,
Yeah,
your video was playing. And I just want to know, like, yeah, they might be, will we be customizable runners? I don't know, but you were saying that it could possibly be more just prefabricated type, this is the type of runner that you get and everything. And maybe, but what I was saying before we came out is when you look at the trailer, you don't see a lot of duplication. And
sure.
but the trailers, they can do that with trailers,
I
especially if they
did
have enough
see in
characters.
they have a bunch of different things out right now, and I have seen trailers where they're running the three same characters.
Okay.
So I have seen that. That's why I think, and I told this to KP while my video was playing. I think it's going to be more like Apex. You have your set runner with their set abilities. However, maybe you'll get like cosmetics, and you can really customize how your character just physically looks in terms of like maybe the outfit and stuff like that. But I do think as well, um, the customization for your character is going to be coming from what gear you can find and kind of more customizing your play style with the stuff you hopefully have in your vault. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm
If it is
curious to
like
see more of
Apex,
this.
if it is like Apex, that means I won't want to play it.
I only say that because Apex kind of has a little bit of a similar, I don't want to say graphical style, but I got a little bit of a
Mhm.
style of that. I
Yeah.
don't want to say it's a ripoff of um Apex because I don't know enough
Mhm.
information about Marathon yet to make that call. You know what I mean?
Right.
So they are. I will say they are very active on social media and they are constantly putting out new content for us to break down and take a look at. So hopefully
Oh
we
yeah,
get more
Marathon
info.
Bulletin is like amazing. So
Yeah,
we'll
yeah,
definitely be bringing you guys any new information that we see on the game.
yeah. It's a hot
And
topic right now.
Ramp, for your Borderlands love and my Borderlands love, I am still holding on to when we will finally see the state of play for Borderlands 4. They promised us deliver.
All right. Well, while you wait for that to release and I will wait for Marathon to release, we do have upcoming games. We have 17 games. I got a little bit of a break, a little less, finally under 20. But we have 17 games that are actually releasing and launching next week. So we're going to go on a short break. But when we return, we're going to dive into what games they are, what they're about, where you can buy them, if they have demos or not, and see which ones KP and I are interested in, or maybe you guys are interested in. So for now, we will be back momentarily. Hang on in there, and when we return, we're going to talk about your upcoming games for next week. All right, everybody. As we said, all next week we got 17 games coming out, so that's going to be April 21st through the 27th. Obviously, we don't have games releasing on every single day. It's a theme I've noticed that they only really like releasing Tuesdays through Thursdays, sometimes on Friday, but you rarely get a
Sometimes
Monday
on Monday.
release. Sometimes you get
Yeah.
on Monday, but it's not very common, which I think is surprising and interesting. So yeah.
Well, this is the first week that we're actually not going to start on Monday.
Yeah, we're actually starting, I think, on Tuesday, right?
Yeah.
All right. Well, want to kick it off for us? Which one you got for
Sure.
us?
So we're going to start, like I said, we're going to start on Tuesday, April 22nd. So in this puzzle horror inspired by PlayStation 2 era classic, navigate environments, tackle threats, and meet other lost characters in the depths of the gloom. Initially planned to release back on March 31st, Post Trauma now releases on Tuesday on PC, PlayStation 5, and Xbox Series X and S. So, yeah.
Yeah, we wanted to make sure to mention that it was supposed to release back on March 31st, only because you might have seen this poster on our show before, because we definitely had it during that show for that week back then.
We did. But
Yes,
now
we
we're gonna
did.
skip to Wednesday
Yeah,
because we're done with
and
Tuesday. Tuesday's
Tuesday's
done.
done.
We're done.
Tuesday's done.
Tuesday's
All
done.
right. What do we got on Wednesday? So now to Wednesday, April 23rd. The next game is a Beholder series spinoff. Become a conductor of the Determination Bringer train. Monitor passengers, report incidents, and carry out important ministry assignments whose level of security or secrecy depends only on your loyalty. And remember, mission success is very important to you. So, Beholder Conductor releases on PC only on Wednesday. But don't worry, it doesn't stop there. There's actually quite a few on Wednesday.
Yeah, Wednesday's a big one to this time. Wednesday's our hot day.
Yes,
So
he is.
this next one, in this time travel adventure spanning 200 years, dive into the past with ancient Fia Quinn as she embarks on several trips through time. History is up for grabs from the of Prohibition to the vicious gangs of the Gilded Age to the World Trade Center on September 10th, 2001. Sorry if that's
Yikes.
sensitive for somebody out there, but it's just part of the description and the game. Old Skies releases on Wednesday on PC and Nintendo Switch, and there is a demo available on Steam. I actually added this one to my list because it looks so cool, and I was like, this one's really fun. I could do this one.
Very nice. Very nice. All right, y'all. It
Oh,
doesn't stop.
this next one. I want to say this next one. Shirtless Dan is super excited for this one. He like
So,
literally messaged me.
funny enough, I'm also very excited for this next one.
This is going to be very similar to just a little bit before we get into it, but this will be very similar to like how the like uh split fiction the It Takes Two, like that
Yes.
kind of thing. So just keep that in mind when you hear this next game because it's not going to be everybody needs to own it kind of situation. But go ahead.
Yeah, I'm very, very interested in this next one. Um, so diving into what it is, this is Thunderfolk. This is a shared turn-based tactical RPG adventure where your phone becomes the controller. So inspired by gathering around a table with friends, it is built with a couch co-op experience in mind. So up to 4 players adventure across the magical, dangerous Sunderlands. Sunderfolk yeah, sorry, both names confused me for a second and made me go burp.
Yeah, no, it's
Sorry,
okay.
Sunderfolk
You are
releases on
correct.
Sunderfolk releases on PC, Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 5, and Xbox Series X and S. So what does this mean? This specifically means it's almost in a way very similar to how Jackbox works, how you kind of put in the
Hmm.
code and you join the room from your phone. So one person needs to have the game, they create the actual like game room, if you will. And then with the phones, you put in the code and you join from your phone and control your characters and everything in a turn based style from your cell phone, which is really cool. I really want to test this out. I'm really interested in this.
Yeah, I think this would be a lot of fun. I think it would change the way we do streaming. in a way because it brings back that whole Jackbox feel without the
Absolutely.
Jackbox part. And
Absolutely.
so, yeah, I think I can see like people being on the same, like on a Discord call with each other, but then it's like, oh, well, I don't have to, like, I could just chill on the Discord call with you and then at the same time, still play the game with you with my phone. So there's a whole lot of fun things added to this one that I think will be really great
I absolutely agree. This is one I'm going to be keeping an eye on and hopefully get to test out.
and hopefully not be too pricey.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. I know. All right. Well, this next game is an exciting collection bringing you 12 games in one. From
Damn.
developer Technos Japan, known for creating the legendary River City and Double Dragon series. From arcade classics to region exclusive titles, you'll have plenty to explore in this collection. Get your hands on these rare games of legend. This game releases on Wednesday, on PlayStation 5, Nintendo Switch, and PC. Super
Very cool.
Technos World, River City, and Technos Arcade Classics. Yeah.
Wow.
It's a very long, long title.
Very long.
Enjoy.
Very long. We get a lot of long titles though from Japan
We
for games.
do. We do. I find like the most obscure ones, I swear. And I'm like, hey, let's read this one.
That's what I really like about this though, is we're gonna find uh so many games that we never would have heard of before if it wasn't for us
Hmm.
being able to like have a list where we can find all of these. But that's one thing
Right.
I do. That's why I love this segment. But
Even though it's
mm,
long.
it's fine.
No, I know.
Next
I'm
up,
just saying, even though it's long.
next up, y'all, another game for Wednesday. We have Katsutaka, Kodaka, and Kotaro Uchikoshi. Sorry, that last one was
You're
getting
doing
me.
good.
Thank you.
You're doing really good. Keep going.
It's because I watch
I wouldn't be
anime.
able to.
No.
I
uh,
I wouldn't be able to. I'd be like, "What?"
I was like, man, I haven't. I'm like, sometimes if I'm like, when I'm staring at it, I'm like, these are names that I haven't. Wow. But yeah, anyway, Kuzutaka Kodaka and Kotaro Uchikoshi joined forces for the first time to deliver the ultimate adventure game. 15 students are tasked with defending a school from grotesque monsters for 100 days. Can they make it to the end? And will they survive long enough to uncover the truth? This game releases on Nintendo Switch and PC on Wednesday, April 23rd. But hey, guess what? There's a demo on Steam if you want to test it out and see what the game's like before you buy.
So, Ramp, you said you're really interested in this one. Hit up
Very
the
nice.
demo, see what you think. And if it's something that really still fits your interest, then put it on the wish list.
Yeah,
There you
there you
go.
go. There you go.
All right, this
And we
next
have
one's
another Wednesday one.
yes, we're still on Wednesday. So, nice. Doll's Nest is a 3D action game where you can customize mecha girls and explore a ruined world. As a frame unit, your adventure will pit you against the gigantic autonomous factory world of Hod. Overcome obstacles using the parts at your disposal and uncover the mysteries that lie at its center. This game releases on Wednesday on PC only. This is one that I added to my wish list because I thought the gameplay looked really cool and I like the
It does
fact
look
that
really
it's
interesting.
and I like that you get to customize a mech. I do
Yeah,
like mechs.
yeah, absolutely. This one does look really interesting.
Well, we get to move to Thursday now.
Woo! It's Thursday. Thursday.
Thursday.
All right, everybody. A brand new entry in the Fatal Fury series is set to arrive on the scene. Fatal Fury City of the Wolves features a unique art style that stimulates the senses and an innovative rev system that supercharges the excitement. Here, at long last, a new legend is about to unfold. Fatal Fury City of the Wolves releases on Thursday, April 24th on PlayStation 5 and 4, Xbox Series X and S, and PC. I'm not very familiar at all with this with the Fatal Fury franchise, but I have heard they're really good.
I have heard they're really good too. I just haven't played a lot of them. Well, it's been ages since the Fatal Fury. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah, I
the
mean,
long awaited.
Add it to the list, Ramp. Add it to the list. No, I'm just kidding. I know this next one is one that a lot of people are excited
I'm
about.
so
It's
excited for this next one.
I don't know how excited I am. I'm like kind of on the edge. I think I'm like I don't know. I'm still trying to figure it out because it
Totally
does
fair.
look really good. Like I'm it does pique my interest, but I don't know if I'm like yeah, like jumping out of skin excited, you know?
Totally
So
fair.
this next one is lead the members of Expedition 33 on their quest to destroy the Paintress so that they can never paint death again. Explore a world of wonders inspired by Belle. Um, oh my god, I'm gonna mess this up. Um, Belle, um, Epoque?
Ep-
No,
Epoch.
Epoku? Maybe Epoku? Where's Grim? Where's Grim
It's
when I need a
it's
French
it's
person
probably
in here?
Epoch with how the
Probably.
little bit of French stuff that I do know.
That's like, yeah. France and battle unique enemies in this turn-based RPG with real-time mechanics. The game releases on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC on Thursday, April 24th. And yeah, like I'm interested, but I'm more like,
Visually, it looks
is it-
really pretty.
right. It does, and I'm like, is it coming to Game Pass so I don't have to pay for it?
We'll find out eventually.
I think it might be, but I didn't see anything specifically stating it was going to be. But I
Yeah,
think it
it might
might
be. It
be
might
on
be.
the
It could be a
Game
down the road
Pass.
kind of thing.
Hold on, I want to find out. Hold on, I'm
Hold
gonna
on,
do a
guys.
quick
She's googling.
research.
She's googling.
I am.
She's
Do you
googling.
blame me? Do you blame me?
I mean, I
I don't
could
blame
blame you.
me. No, don't you blame me. We all want to know. We all want to know if it's coming to out on day one. Uh, explore the catalog. Yeah, give me the catalog. Give me the catalog. He's
April
recently
24th is the
added.
main day. Is like the day. Sorry, not
Yeah,
the main day, but the day it releases.
33 Immortals.
I need to
I,
test out 33 Immortals yet. I haven't installed.
yeah, what the heck, man? You said you would do it. No, I'm just
I
kidding.
know, I know, I know.
I'm just giving you crap while I'm trying to figure out what's if I can find it. Um, Ramp says same here.
We're
Let's
not.
leave you
I'm not
alone.
alone, Ram. We'll try it together.
There you go. More. Yes, there it is. I found it.
It's
Game
coming to Game
Pass.
Pass day one or
Yep.
later on.
Um, it just says coming soon. It doesn't say day one, but it does
It
pre-order.
might do like a little bit after it's been released. Then if it doesn't say day one.
It says coming soon. That's all it says. It
Okay.
doesn't
Okay.
say, so that could mean that it could be on day one, or it could be like a couple days after,
Yeah. Yeah.
but
They might have like that week,
is
like that 5 days to a week kind of like stint
let me
for
see
release,
one
and
other
then have it on Game Pass.
there's one other thing I want to check really fast before we
Hmm.
move to the next story. I'm so sorry, everybody. You can all hate me later. Or not, because I'm giving you great info.
Yes. So far, coming soon to Game Pass is Claire Obscure Expedition 33. Which, if it comes to Game Pass, it's definitely how I'll end up playing it.
Oh yeah, for sure. Here we go. Pre-install. Pre-install. There's a
All right.
pre-install on it. So that tells me it will be day one.
It'll be day one if it has a pre-install already for sure. All
Yeah.
right. Awesome.
So
Well, you'll be able to play on April 24th, Claire Obscure Expedition 33 on PlayStation
yep.
5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC, or also through PC or Xbox, whatever, on Game Pass. Whoop
Yeah,
whoop.
it says it'll be available in 3 days. So yay!
Nice. So
Go us. You're
actually,
the best. We do all
another
the Googling
one.
for you guys.
This next game I have for y'all is another one that I'm actually very interested in. I actually found this game when we highlighted uh the Earth Appreciation Festival on Steam. This was there as
Mhm.
a coming on as one of the games under that festival coming soon. So you're
Right.
gonna set off on a quest for the great white birds in a mysterious land full of secrets. Answer the call of exploration as you travel to Emerzone, a forgotten Latin American country, to fulfill the last wishes of a late explorer. This game releases on Thursday on PC, PlayStation 5, and Xbox Series X and S. There also is a demo available on Steam, which I actually do have on my list. I have it in my library right now, and it's one I definitely really want to check out. I'm very, very interested in Emerzone, The Explorer's Legacy. It's a very different art style. It's very interesting, and I'm really, really intrigued to dive into this one.
Yeah, no, that one did look really interesting. I didn't add it myself, but I figured like it definitely was one of us. I didn't know who.
Yeah, yeah. I've actually had genuinely have had this on my list since the uh the Earth Appreciation Festival that happened on Steam. What was that? 2 weeks ago? I think
Yeah.
it was.
Yeah,
Yeah,
somewhere around there, yeah.
very nice.
All right, we're still on Thursday. It's a
Still
big
on
day.
Thursday.
Still on Thursday. So join Morona and her phantom friends on a mission to defeat the sinister shipwreck fleet. Recruiting phantoms bind them to objects, combine them with gadgets, and even merge them with Morona herself in this play it your way RPG. Not to be confused with pay it your way. Because we all know that Latin likes to do those pay to win games. All right, this game releases on PC only. This one was kind of cute. I
It
had
looked
like a
it
little bit
looked
of thought
cute.
vibes that I was like Morgan might like this one.
It looked cute, not gonna lie. I want to see a little bit more gameplay of it though to really determine if it's a
Hmm.
game that I would really dive into. But from initial what I got to saw initially, it did look really cute.
Yeah,
All right, guys. While on the theme of sticking to Thursday, um, we head
we
back.
like Thursday.
Sorry.
I said we like Thursday.
Yeah, we like Thursday. So
Mhm.
back to the same planet together. That's all I wanted. Bakura, a planet in a two-player puzzle adventure that explores new possibilities in cooperative gaming. So players take on the role of the crew on a space exploration ship as they try to escape from a planet where they have crash landed on. This game does release on PC and Mac. There is a demo available on Steam, and there actually is another game in this franchise that's just simply called Bakura. So if you're familiar with Bakura, this is another installment of that franchise. So real quick though, before we move on to our next graphic, gotta go over here where you can see us. More than dice. Thank you so much for the hydrate. Cheers. We need to
I only
hydrate
have a little
ourselves.
bit of coffee left.
Well, dehydrate yourself with your coffee.
Mm, so good. Good to the
I love
last
my
drop.
water.
Wait,
Coffee is
coffee is
live.
life.
Yes,
How you doing, more
yes.
than dice?
Hello, hello. You're curious to see how it goes. I am also very curious. Are you talking about Bakura ramp? I just want to make sure. So I am following you, and I know which one you're talking about because I know we did a couple there. I don't know how far back behind the lag is because there's always a bit of a lag compared to where we're at, where the viewers are.
Working stuff for the stream tonight, listening to you. Aw, well, we love that. Thank you.
Thank
Hearts
you.
all around.
Thanks for hanging. But yeah, I am. It could be a very interesting one to dive into, ramp for sure. All right, up next, still on Thursday.
Still sticking with what?
Thursday.
Thursday. All right, this is a fast-paced 3D shooting action game packed with love for classic arcade hits of the 80s and 90s. So all you 80s and 90s kids out there, you want to listen up for this one. Control Ashura, a humanoid combat weapon, and unleash shots, charged punches, and slow motion powers to wipe out waves of alien invaders. Pure arcade intensity. The game releases on PC only, and there is a demo on Steam.
Very nice, very nice. So yeah, can dive into that one if you like fast-paced 3D shooting. It definitely I seeing the trailer for it definitely has that hardcore like early, 80s and early 90s vibes for sure. For
Yeah,
sure.
get all those kids that were born then, get them right in their hearts.
Yay. All right, next, still in Thursday, y'all. we have
What? We're still Thursday?
yeah, yeah,
Come
yeah.
on.
So we have Nano Apostle. This is a dark sci-fi boss rush action game featuring intense reaction-based combat and the unique destruction point system. So play as Anita, a child augmented with lethal nanomachines, as she battles against twisted cybernetic experiments to escape a top secret facility. This game releases on PlayStation 4 and 5, Xbox One, and Xbox Series X and S on Thursday. But I will let you know this is already released and available on PC. I did see it on Steam.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right.
So if
This
you
next one is a really short description, which I'm super excited about, but command distinct factions in a desperate struggle for power and resources in Tempest Rising, a classic RTS set on Earth after a nuclear war. The game releases on PC only on Thursday, and there's not much else that we can say about it.
yeah, go take a look. Go check it out on Steam though, so you can get a better look at into what the game is.
Yeah.
'Cause that's all the developers wanted to give us verbally or written.
They were like, "Nah, you don't need to know more. Just look at our game." We were
Yeah.
like, "Okay."
All right, guys. Big news. We're done with Thursday. We're switching to Friday.
Woo!
Woo
No,
woo! It's Friday.
yeah, we only
Friday.
have 2 on Friday.
Yeah, 2 on Friday.
What?
All right, everybody. You're going to challenge yourself while being chased by fear. A horror puzzle action adventure. A completely new version of the legendary horror game Ao Oni. Ao Oni, the horror of Blueberry Onsen, will be available on Switch on Friday and will come to PC sometime later in 2025. This
I
is
will say
very, very interesting and kind of weird looking, not gonna lie.
well, I was gonna say this like when I was writing this up, I had a split screen of everything, and literally the kid or whatever that thing is that just stares at
It's
you.
like a dog thing. I saw it walking around as like a dog with this head on it.
Oh, is it? I have no idea. I just
I
saw
don't
the
know either.
image because I didn't have the trailer playing because sometimes that can get distracting because I'm
Sure.
trying to type it. And so I was just like, whatever that is just needs to stop staring at me.
Stop looking
Could you
at
just
me.
stop it? Stop looking at me right now. I'm trying to finish this.
That's
All right,
fantastic.
this last one though, guys, for Friday, we're really excited because we've made it to the end.
Familiar title.
Is one that you have heard of a lot from us, but don't worry, there's a reason we're talking about it. So, ride and fight into a deadly post pandemic America. Play as Deacon St. John, a drifter and bounty hunter who rides the broken road, fighting to survive while searching for a reason to live in this open world action adventure game. Days Gone Remastered is releasing on PlayStation 5 on Friday. So get yourself Days Gone Remastered if you're huge into it and played it, because it's coming to PlayStation 5.
Yeah. More Than Dice in chat says that they loved it. I haven't actually had a chance to really deep dive into the game, but I've watched the gameplay. I've seen the story. I've watched people play it, and I do really like it. So yeah, you can if you want the remastered version, you'll be able to get that on PlayStation 5 coming on Friday, April 25th.
And I know we've mentioned this before. We've definitely have talked about this game. I think we mentioned it when they did one of the showcases like a few weeks ago.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we also
Yeah.
mentioned when they announced that they were working on the remastered version as well.
Right. Nothing more fun than than being chased by 100 plus at a time.
Woo, I love being chased by so many zombies at once.
Yay!
It's not stress
Yay!
inducing at all.
Yay! Over here.
All right. There's quite a few coming out next week that I definitely have some interest in. So I'm very intrigued to like see what their price points are going to be to hopefully potentially dive
Mhm.
into them. Some of them actually still have demos out, so that can be an option we can look at as well. But if if you have a game that you're really interested in that is coming out next week, let us know in chat, Twitch, YouTube. Let us know. We would love to hear it in the chat or the comments. So yeah,
Right.
but
Yeah, if there's one that you want us to check out or kind of, do a deep dive before you even check in, dive into it because maybe you're like, I'm interested in this, but I just don't really want have the time to play it or you just want like maybe our thoughts on it.
Mhm.
I've always done that before. I'm like, "Hey Morgan, what do you think of this game that you got that I also got?" And she's like, "Well, let me tell you. Do you have some time?" And I'm like, "Yes, please go."
Me give very descriptive answers? No way.
Oh, I know, right? That's not in your game. That's not in your wheelhouse at all. Not at all.
No.
But yeah, so like we're happy to share our opinions on what we think of the game. Like we said, there are opinions. They may not fit with what you think, but we will at least give it to you how we feel about it. So, and give it to you straight.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
what we do.
everybody, at this point, we are at the end of our show. So, first things first.
What?
Yeah,
Oh,
I
it's over
know.
already?
I know. But now I can go get Easter dinner food.
No. You must stay and suffer with
But I
me.
really want to eat my potatoes I made last night.
Just go and get the thing and stick it in front of your face and just
Don't tempt me because I would.
maybe that's what you should have done this whole time, is just sat it there and been like, "Look, you guys are not getting this food. This is mine. I'm eating this. This is only happening, and it's gonna happen on stream, and it's gonna be amazing."
Well, anybody out there who does celebrate Easter, happy Easter. But just so you know, for our next show, we'll take a closer look at Sokoban Fest that kicks off on Monday and runs through April 28th. You'll find out which ones stood out to us. As always, we will have all the topics we discussed in our show topic section on our Discord. So if you're not in there, what are you doing? Go join it. Be a part of it. That way
I
you can
mean,
see what
maybe
we're talking about. You can send us cool stories that sometimes might end up getting highlighted on the show. So yeah, we know Ramp out there and Latin, they help us out a lot with finding us really cool articles, and that could be you too. But before we go, don't forget to check us out across all of our social medias. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Blue Sky, and LinkedIn. And just a quick reminder on that, you're going to find out when we're going live. You'll be able to see cool videos that we're going to be putting out here in the near future, as well as you'll see graphics. You know, you'll see some cool graphics and whatnot of our like some of our video game picks that are already out there. So go give us some love on the social medias so you can check all that stuff out too. Because sometimes there's stuff on there that doesn't you don't see here on the live show.
what?
Mhm.
Did you also know that there is stuff that we probably don't air all the time on our show that's on our YouTube?
That's true. That's true.
Wait, you knew that already?
I knew it. I don't know if they knew it.
Oh man, I thought I was being all smart.
Sorry.
Being like, Morgan, did you know? And you'd be like, no, I didn't.
Here,
What?
take it from the top. Take it from the top. I'll start over. I'll pretend that I didn't know.
Okay, so did you know that on our YouTube, we have
Mhm.
content on there that we don't always put on our shows?
What? We do?
We do. Isn't that crazy?
That's crazy. How do I not know this when I usually am the one?
Way to just mess it up.
No,
Gosh, Morgan.
I'm here to mess
When
with you.
I'm
I'm
the one who's
sorry.
putting it on there, how do I not even know? Because you're sleeping half the time. We know this.
That's not true. That's Dan. That's shirtless Dan. Sorry, shirtless. I think you're lurking in our chat. Love you, buddy.
All right, guys. But do remember, though, that we do have content on YouTube that is not always in our shows.
Yes.
So head on over there to YouTube and give us a like, a subscription, a subscribe, and hit the little ding for that notification so you guys know when we take the show live. And then also, if you like what we're doing over here on Twitch as well, give us a heart. They're all free. Free hearts are great. We love love. Love is great.
Follow
So
us on
help us grow.
Twitch.
We're slowly becoming bigger. We might soon have some other news to share with you guys that we're really excited about to help with our growing. So
We cannot explain to you guys how much work we've been putting in the background that we haven't had a chance to showcase to you guys and talk about yet. To help better the show and to move things forward and get more content out there for you. So we genuinely cannot wait to let you guys know when it is time that we are able to talk about all those things. We're so excited.
yeah, it's probably why I'm also tired. No, I'm just kidding.
I've kept her very busy
No,
this
but we're
week.
We have been very busy this week. We're really excited. And I'm hopefully that you guys will appreciate more of the stuff that we're going to be showing you. We have a lot lined up. We have a lot more that we want to do. And yeah, we're going to have more content. More content means more fun things for us to talk about and you guys to talk about and react to and everything else. So,
And what's nice
yay!
is too with like more content means there's going to be more video game spotlights, more video game reviews. Those are like two things I can talk about right now that there will be more of. So yeah, stay tuned for when we're able to announce that sometime soon. Probably within
Hopefully
the
next
next
week.
like, yeah, I was gonna say we're gonna be able to announce it within the next week or two. So if not next show, it will be the following show.
Yes.
Very
So,
excited.
until then, guys, we will see you next show. We will see you next weekend. We will see you on our own personal stuff. So don't forget to check us out there too as well because I know I'm going live tonight. I know Morgan's not. So,
Yeah, I'm with family. They wanted to see me, so I was like, okay, I guess.
she didn't want to be a sexy grandma tonight. That's what she's told me. She's like, I don't have time. I can't find my wig.
It's in the wash.
Okay, Karen.
All right, send us home, Linda.
All right. All right, guys, until next weekend, we will see you then and we will see you guys on our personals and throughout our socials. And have a good one and keep processing.